said. First of all, crew, I hope you're doing great. Hope you're doing fantastic. We're watching markets begin to heat up a little bit across the nation right now, which is really exciting. It's happening in pockets. And you're in Gulf Coast. Are you down like Mississippi, Alabama?
Beach, Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Okay, cool. How you guys doing down there?
Good.
Good. Okay. Awesome. Beginning. Well, guys, we've had 3 consecutive days of rates dropping. Right. And we got mortgage-backed secure. Well, where the frick is everybody? Right. So it's summer. Oh, that is, it's the week after school getting out or 2 weeks after school getting out. So it's always a challenge. I got something really special for you guys today because I'm going to do a little pivot, right? I know it actually says 5 common mistakes. I'm going tactical with you guys today. Nazar, you and I talked about that. Like, I wanted to go tactical. I don't know how it is that we got 5 common mistakes on there, but I have the most deadly close to share with you guys today. Like super tactical that you can use. And we've tested this now, beta tested this about 800 to 1,000 times with my beta group. And we've seen a 27% increase in the number of appointments set from them using that. Do you guys want this? Control your enthusiasm. Let me ask the question again. Do you guys want this? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, good. Because I'm sharing it with you regardless, right? You guys are getting this regardless. Hey, by the way, Nazar, Angie's gonna be reaching out to you because she needs an hour. She may ask you to watch her dog for an hour. So I'm just warning you. She's got a little pug. She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to call Nazar. And I'm like, I don't know how that's going to go, by the way. Justin, what do you think? Your dad keeping an eye on a pug? I don't know. Anyway, how many of you guys would love to see Nazar holding a pug? I would pay for that shit, by the way. Like that would be...
I have palms, so it wouldn't be that different than a...
Okay, good. All right, guys. So let's dig into this today, right? Because really, if you think about it, what is the currency of a great real estate business? The currency of a great real estate business are appointments. And I want you to write that down if you would, please. Okay. The currency of a really good real estate business are appointments. It's not sales. It's not closings, right? It's not the income. The currency is appointments. Why is that, do you think, guys? Why is that? Why should appointments be the number one focus that you have?
Because it's a numbers game.
You know what, Lauren? It's a 100% numbers game, is it not? Okay. And even if your skills are not really great at your presentation from sheer volume, like you're going to actually end up winning the game. Does that make sense? I yesterday, for the second time in a row, I got the chance to actually speak at a mindset summit, and Josh Altman was there. Right, you guys know like Altman brothers, and but both Josh and Matt. Matt's like, believe it or not, he's the brains behind the entire thing, and Josh is the face behind it. Right, when you see the Altman.
I've met Josh, I can believe that.
Yeah, but you know what, Bob? What Josh did do is he talked about the prospecting that he did. Right. And he talked like the dude built his business on this whole concept of, he's like, I looked at he would go to the same Starbucks where all of the athletes and the people that manage the athletes and everything. Like, he was really smart they were really smart about the approach, but he's like, I'm always looking for my next appointment. Right. And it just made me think about this, which is really our goal needs to be setting an appointment every single day. Right. And everything that we need to do to be able to actually, Ryan, to get to that point, to be able to set an appointment every single day. Right. And even if we don't set an appointment for that day, if you set 2 to 3 appointments per week, you're going to be out of, like, you're set. Right. That's a $1 million business. Do you guys get that? 2 appointments per week. What would that be? 100 appointments over the course of a year. 80% of them hold. That's 80 appointments. You take 60% of them. That's 50, 60 transactions for most of you guys. That's $800 to $1 million. Do you guys see that? Like, unless you're in a little bit lower price point. So that is the currency. That's what you can control, right? Can you control whether a listing sells? You can price it right, but ultimately the right buyer is going to come along and they got to accept the price. Can you control when a buyer buys? No. But what you can control is the number of buyer consultations that I'm actually having per week. And I can control the number of listings appointments that I'm going on per week based upon my output of calls, right? And based upon also the quality of conversations. Does that make sense? Like those are the two knobs that I'm going to turn. I'm going to turn the output of calls, and I'm going to turn my skills up, right, based upon that. So, hey, Nazar, do you guys do this every single week? We have this call you guys do a call every single week? It's every 2 weeks? Okay, we're going to stick on this for like the next 2 calls. Is that fine, guys? Like we're going to stick on this for the next 2 calls because I want to remind you skills, standards, strategies. Those are the 3. You guys remember seeing this? The trifecta of S. What's up? By the way, everyone, I just got the privilege of coaching Alicia. I got to tell you, I'm so proud of her. Like that young lady, how many do you have under contract right now, Soul Sister? 5, right? And we didn't plan that, even though the company's name is Fiv. She's got 5 that she's got under contract. I'm so proud of you, sis. Right? And she's done that just by one. Hey, Alicia, unmute yourself really quick. Tell them the fundamental shift that you did that had the biggest. I want you guys to recognize you're only a couple of turns on the knob from having that type of business. Alicia, what'd you change?
Honestly, it's just mostly scheduling out my prospecting.
Yeah. She's got beautiful young little boy, right? Okay, that she has to take care of. She had every excuse. She wants to be able to actually be around him, doesn't want to put him in daycare, right? She wants to be able to take care of him. He goes down for a nap. I go, cool, that's your prospecting time. If he sleeps for an hour, you got an hour. If he sleeps for 2 hours, you got 2 hours. She's stuck to that, and she's been able to actually convert more leads, set more appointments, and be able to get 500 contracts. You guys do me a favor and just say, Alicia, you are a badass on the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Alicia, you are badass. I'm so proud of you. So let's start here, okay? Right? I want you to write down the number of escrows that you have right now, please. I want you to write down the number of escrows that you have right now that you're sitting on. Number of escrows. How are you, Emily? Good to see you. Number of escrows that you have right now. Do you guys got that number? If that number, ready? Show me on. If you guys want to own this, show me on your fingers right now how many escrows you have that are currently open escrows, buyers or sellers that have not closed. Show me on fingers. You see? Some of you are not giving me fingers. So I'm glad no one gave me this one, right? You like removed. So here's my belief, guys. Okay. And this is what I found. If that number is less than 2 or 3, depending upon your price point, right? I want you to write down less than 2 or 3. If it's less than 2 or 3, the knob that I need to turn is not a skill knob. First, the knob that I need to turn is an output of effort knob. It's an output of effort, which means, Kristen, if I'm lower than 2 or 3 escrows, right? I need to be, you guys aren't going to like this, and I don't care, right? You need to be doing 3 hours of lead generation and follow up per day. Okay. No one dropped off. Yay. Right. I felt the collective, ooh, why is that? Well, if I have 2 or 3 or less escrows, it means what? It means I'm not, Bob, putting enough effort in to my pipeline to build the pipeline of leads. It means my lead pipeline is probably skinny, or I'm not working that lead pipeline enough. Does that make complete and total sense, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Now, this is something that I was talking to Preston Guyton, that's one of the top teams in the entire nation. And he actually said, you ready for this? If you have 4 or less in escrow, I said, oh, that's a little steep. You know what I mean? That's a little steep. I think if you got 2 or 3, you're going to sell 24 to 36 homes, right? You know, if you're over that, right? Now, if you're over 3 escrows, you ready? If you're over 3 escrows, write down, I need to be doing 1 to 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. Not 1, 2 hours. Now, I'm sharing this with you before we actually go into the skill section. Why? Because if you have the best closes, but you're not talking to enough people, you're still going to fail. How many of you guys recognize that? Right? Okay. And you know what, Lauren? By the way, Lauren, good to see you. Lauren, we can probably point to a lot of really skilled agents that simply aren't like they're good. They're good on the phone. They're great in role play. They've got great presentations, but they haven't mastered the commitment to 2 or 3 hours a day, and their business is failing because of it. Can you think of some of those individuals that you've been around, right? And the ecosystems, maybe not here at Five, but maybe at TF or maybe at Mike Ferry or maybe at wherever it is that you navigate. Do you know some of those people, or even like people?
Has been sitting in my chair.
That person is sitting in my chair. There we go. Yeah. I am talking to me right now. Right. So, guys, that's the commitment. Now, check this out before we go over into the script, right? And by the way, Nazar, I'm going to send the ebook. It's going to be a raw version of an ebook that I just created that goes around this script. So it's not on branding. It hasn't been put through typesetter. It's not all pretty, but I want to get it to you guys before it's pretty so that it is completely functional. Okay. Is that fair enough, guys? So when you get it, don't judge me because of the fact that it doesn't look all coach pipes out, right? I want you guys to have it versus it being pretty. Now, here's what I want you to understand. If I'm less than 2 or 3, the reason I got to do 3 is because I'm in a building stage. Does that make sense? And I want you to write down less than 2 or 3. I'm building that pipeline. I'm building up to 50 or 60 leads that are going to do something in the next 90 days or less. I need Bob to have that. I need to have that because 90%, Nazar, what percent of your appointments came from follow-up? Not from a first call close. You guys know what I mean when I say a first call close, and Andrew? First call close is I call them. It's my very first conversation with them. I get the appointment, right? Right. Okay. Nazar, like if you put it on a percentage basis, what percent of your appointments, and I know you've gone on so many, even probably more than me, right? Okay. What percent were first call closes where it was you never talked to them before, talked to them the first time and you got the appointment?
Got the appointment or got the sale?
You got the appointment. You got like, I've never talked to them. It's the first time I'm talking to that lead, and they end up setting an appointment with me.
I mean, it's probably not what you want to hear, but majority of my calls were come list me calls from the farming that we did. So it was pretty high.
Pretty high because of the marketing that you were doing inside of Eastville and the farming itself, right? Yeah, gotcha. Okay. What I found in calling cold leads, online leads, things along those lines, not including my past clients in Sphere, is about 94% of the appointments came from the second conversation, third conversation, fourth conversation, fifth conversation. It came from the follow-up. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. And so what you look at is prospecting is not designed to set appointments. And I want you to write that down. I know that sounds so odd, unless your model is different like Nazar's, or as Nazar's was. Prospecting, Kristen, is designed to fill the funnel. It's designed to build up that funnel, Ken. My follow-up is where I set the appointments. My second call, my third call, my nurturing, etc. So if I have fewer than 2 or 3 escrows, chances are my pipeline isn't robust enough and I'm in a building mode to be able to build that up. Now, the minute, Kristen, that I go over that 2 to 3, write down when I have 3+ escrows, I'm in a maintenance mode. I'm maintaining that pipeline. I'm not having to build it, right? The flywheel is already moving. Does that make sense, my friends? Okay. And it takes a lot less energy to keep that body in motion than it does to get a body at rest in motion. Okay. That's a general law of physics, right? Okay. So once I got 3, chances are I'm just refilling that pipeline. I'm not having to get it up to a certain point. Okay. So I just want you to keep that in mind. Now, really quick, the best strategy around this is really simple. Write down 2 hours new, 1 hour nurture. If you're on a 3-hour hunt, it's 2 hours new, 1 hour nurture. That's the build mode. BUILD. I'm building up. If I'm doing 2 hours, Bob, it's 1 hour new, 1 hour nurture. It's 1 hour new, 1 hour nurture.
But Bill, who do we call?
Great. Okay. With my outbound prospecting, not my nurture, I'm going to call any of the online leads that I have. I'm going to call any of the open house leads that have come in from the open houses that I've ultimately done. I may be calling around around open houses to be able to invite. I may call expireds. I may call for sale by owners. I may call my past clients inside of that, obviously, right? I'm going to be talking to, minus my past clients, people that I haven't spoken to before. Does that make sense? Well, coach, I don't have enough leads. Well, contact the share group, right? And for pennies on the dollar, you can get thousands of people to be able to call that are curated out for you to be able to know who's most likely to move. There's plenty of prospecting lists out there. Does that make sense, guys? And a lot of you are sitting on, Lauren, boatloads of leads in your database that you just haven't actually called through, right? Or it's been a long time since you have. Okay. So if I'm doing an hour, my 2 hours, I may spend 30 minutes calling my past clients. I may spend 30 minutes calling those leads that are in my, or not leads, those prospects that I haven't talked to yet that are inside my FUB or inside my Sierra or inside my Sync or whatever it is. And then I'm going to spend the next hour cultivating and nurturing the leads that I have spoken to, right? And in the growth mode, it's 2 and 1. Make sense, guys? Okay. Now, that right there is one knob. I just want you to think about that. I'm turning that one knob, turning that knob of output, of effort, etc. The second knob is this one right here, guys. Oh, yes. The second knob, can you guys see this? Okay. Bob, the second knob, brother, that I can turn is effectiveness of my conversations, my skills. This is an output and discipline knob. This knob over here is a skill-based knob. Now, here's what I'd like you guys to understand. Now, this is coming soon, right? That is not that's going to be the generalized, watered down version. I got the ebook version. You guys can get all three, and I got the script. I want you to change the way that you look at things so that the things you look at change. That's a straight quote from my buddy, Mr. Wayne Dyer. How many of you guys remember Wayne Dyer? You guys have heard me mention him many times before. I just loved him, right? You guys remember Wayne Dyer? Bald dude, was on PBS all the time, was talking about the Tao Te Ching. Dude's one of the strongest psychologists that was out there. Many don't know that that's where he got his start. And he said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I'm going to invite you today at the beginning of this conversation to be able to actually have a paradigm shift about appointments, okay? To think about appointments in a different manner and a different light, okay? And let's start with this question. What is the greatest asset? The thing that human beings value more than anything else? And I'll give you a little inside baseball. It ain't money. What do you think it is? When people are on their deathbed, what do they ask for? Do they say, I want more listings? I want more. I'd like to have more cars. I'd like to have more watches. I'd like to have more Christian Louboutins, right? What do they ask for?
They want their people,
Time.
loved ones, family, friends.
Right, what do they want with their family and friends? I want more time. Does that make sense? Okay.
Time.
I'm going to write that down. The greatest asset that a human being has is time. Think about that for a second. And when I say yes to a salesperson, right, to meet with them, what am I giving them?
Time.
I'm giving them my time. I'm making a decision to be able, and I want you to please write that. I really want you to really like reframe this. When someone sets an appointment with you, it isn't just a yes. It's an agreement that they're going to give you their time. It's also, write down, an appointment equals a disruption. We think about it like, hey, we're coming in, we're going to be able to actually meet, we're going to be able to do all this stuff. But in their world, in the back of their mind, when they say yes, they're filtering through, okay, is this worth it? Is it worth my time, right? Am I going to give this asset to this person? And is it worth the disruption that it's going to create in my life? Why would it be a disruption, my friends? Why would it be a disruption? What has to happen?
You have to get up and move, but pattern disrupts are good as well. So
They got to get up, they got to move. But Chris, check this out. When they set an appointment with you, chances are they got to go to a spouse. They got to have a conversation with their spouse or significant other. They need to get that person on board. They need to say, hey, I know you got these other things, but we need to actually meet with this agent. I said yes to them. That's a disruption in the relationship. Does that make sense? Right? When someone says, oh, I need to talk to my spouse, they're saying, oh man, I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I mean? I don't like that's really sort of what it is. I don't want to piss them off, right? I need to make sure that their schedule, this disruption is workable in their time frame. Make sense, guys? It's all and how many of you guys have kids? How many of you guys have children? When I say yes to you as a salesperson to come over to the house, guess what? I got to put on hold. The shit that I'm doing with my kids, the commitments that my kids have, I'm trying to work everything around it. Do you see that now that an appointment is a gift of time, but it's also a disruption as well too? Yeah. Okay. Now, here's the deal. Why would you disrupt your day? Why would you disrupt your schedule? Why would you actually give this gift of time to a salesperson that in many cases you have never met with before? What has to be present?
Value.
Yes. Thank you, Nazar. Write down, we give up time. We will give up time and we will accept disruption when there's value. When there is value, we're willing to do that. Okay. I had such a blast with you guys down in Mexico. I keep talking about it. I've told Nazar, this company is one of the companies, if not the company I believe in the most. And I work with a lot of them. I work with, I'll just give the names. I work with LPT. I work with Remax. I work with EXP. I do shit for all of them. There's something special that you guys have. There really is. It was, just so you know, it was a disruption for me to actually leave my kids, go do what I need to do, whatever, come down. Of course, it wasn't too bad because I came into a bougie resort and had fun with amazing people. So that didn't blow and that didn't suck, right? Okay. But why did I choose it? Because I saw value in the relationship of pouring into you guys and the relationship I had with Nazar. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Right. So when we have value, we make those decisions. I gave my time, right? Because I saw value in the relationship. Okay. Now, what do we give value to? What does a buyer or seller give value to in terms of meeting with you? What do you have to be able to position yourself to do for them?
I would say problem solve.
Rochelle, you are so smart. Yes, sister. Absolutely. You nailed it. Write down value equals being the solution to a problem. Period. Joe, if I see I got this problem, what are some of the problems that clients have right now? Affordability because of interest rates. What is a problem? You know what? There's the good inventory is hitting the shelves and it's going quick. What is the problem? Right? We got to be in before school starts and we're not seeing what we want. There's buyers and sellers have consistent problems. They're all about the same. There's probably 10 or 15 problems that you need to solve. Does that make sense? That come up again and again. Can you guys see that? Yes. Okay. So if I can position the appointment as a solution to their problem, they will see value. They will disrupt their day. They will give the gift of time. That's a new way to think about an appointment. Is it not, guys? It isn't just a yes. There are so many layers, Kristen, to that yes. So because of that, here we go. That is the lead up right here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Roro. Okay. Full breakdown, problem to solution close. By the way, this is the simple version. I also have for you guys a more expanded version. So there's 4 parts to this, Bob. Part number 1 is now, my friends, Kim, this is not meant to be a standalone script. It is a bolt on, an add on, an addition to your normal follow up. Okay. So I'm still, and Andrew, I'm still going to be hey, this is Bill over here with Provident Real Estate. I'm giving you a call back like I said I would. When we last spoke, you said your plans were to move to blank by blank because of blank. Are those still your plans? Is that still your time frame? Fantastic. I'm glad we got that right. I'm glad that we're still moving forward. By the way, I was thinking about you because interest rates came down 15 basis points in the last 3 weeks or last 3 days. I wanted to bring that to your attention. I know that rates were something you said that you were concerned about, right? Here's what we're like. I'm still going to do the normal follow-up. Does that make sense, guys? But somewhere when it's appropriate, Devlin, I'm going to ask them this question. I'm curious. What's the biggest challenge or problem with buying or selling, depending upon what that lead is, with buying or selling, that's creating the most frustration for you right now? Rochelle, I cannot solve a problem if I don't uncover it first. Make sense? And a lot of times, Kim, by the way, I only have Kim, Bob, Rochelle, and Andrew on my screen right now. So they're the only ones I'm talking to. It's not because they're teachers' pets, it's because they're only people I can see right now. Okay. Right. So, Andrew, here's why it works. Will you read this section for me right here, sister?
Yes. This instantly shifts the conversation to them, not you. That builds trust.
Perfect. So let's just pause there. When I ask this question, it's not me as an agent saying, here's all the things I can do for you. It's me as an agent, as a salesperson, someone with compassion, someone that cares, saying, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your problem. I want to remind you guys of something. 87% of consumers say that the salesperson that they're talking to doesn't get them, doesn't understand them, and doesn't understand their problems. That is a sales statistic that comes straight from HubSpot, right? This allows us to be able to get under the hood for them. Bob Jones, would you read this one for me, man?
Frustration is an emotionally charged word. It gets people talking about pain, not just logistics.
That's right. Okay. Let's think about this. Why do human beings take action? What is the number one driver? There are two drivers, two forces that work concurrently, but they are
scared or excited enough.
there you go. Scared or excited. Peter, another way of saying that is pain or pleasure. Right, guys? The two alternating forces, Peter, that cause someone to do something is either I have so much pain I want to move away from it, or it represents so much pleasure I choose to move forward to it. Okay. This frustration, and when I say frustration, because there's a way to deliver this, I say, hey, Nazar, and by the way, I'm going to get into the agent mindset and your hacks. When I say the word frustration, I'm really going to emphasize that. So I'm curious, Nazar, what's the biggest challenge or problem with buying a home right now that's creating the most frustration for you right now? I'm really going to put the emphasis on frustration to be able to drive that pain home. Roro, will you
Yes.
read that for me, sister?
Okay. When they talk about their pain, they get emotionally reconnected to their problem, and people in pain are more motivated to act.
There you go. All right. If we're shining a light, Rochelle, on the pain, it's giving them and us leverage to move them forward. Can you guys see that? Okay. Now, last but not least, and Peter, can you see this, bro? Pedro. Peter has got Nazar. Do you want to take this and read it, dude? Oh, Peter, you got it?
Sorry, it like cut out. Yeah. So it opens the door for you to become the solution provider, not just another salesperson.
Hell yes. I am now positioning myself as someone that solves problems. That's what we do as real estate agents, is it not? We solve problems for money, period. But we got to uncover it first. Now, here's the key thing. Let me go to the next group on the next screen. Hey, Justin, will you read this one for me, man? By the way, Justin, the videos that you've been doing and everything that's been going on, I got to give you some props and some high fives. That is you that's doing them. Is that right?
Yeah.
Freaking great job, dude. Like, honestly, I told your dad that. I said, whoever's doing the videos is kicking some ass. Proud of you, man. What does this say?
Be genuinely curious and use a soft tone.
Remember, Chris, 38% of communication is going to be the tone that we choose to use. Okay. These words are great. There's NLP that's embedded inside of it. But if I don't deliver it appropriately, like I really am curious and I change my physiology, I soften my tone, listen to the difference. I'm curious, what's the biggest challenge or problem with buying that's creating the most frustration for you right now? How'd that sound? Blah, flat. Okay. Like I'm just going through a dialogue. But if I say, and watch my physiology, I use a softer tone. I lean in a little bit with my body and my physiology to change the way that my tone sounds. And by the way, Casey, congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you. Like, Casey, tell them what happened really quick before I continue.
Oh, I won the scholarship. Well, I was part of one of the three for the scholarship for coaching, and I'm so excited.
Casey won the scholarship for, anytime that someone goes over 7 figures in our organization, we give a scholarship for one person. I couldn't choose between one, so I had to give it to 3. I'm horrible at that. So, Casey, congratulations. But
Thanks.
watch this. If I'm talking to Casey and I physiologically move in, I soften my voice a little bit. I go, hey, Casey, I'm curious. What's the biggest challenge or problem with buying that's creating the most frustration for you right now? That shows I really care, right? Does that make sense, guys? That tone. And I would encourage all of you to go back and listen to Chris Voss. Listen to Never Split the Difference. In sales and negotiation, it is the Think and Grow Rich book. It really is. I put it at that level. What Kristen, he calls it your late night DJ voice, right? He says he goes, when you get into negotiation or when you really want to like connect with someone, you use your late night DJ voice, right? So I'm going to soften, lower, lean in. That gives them permission to be authentic and a safe spot for them to answer. Okay. And Andrew, or actually, Emily, would you read this one for me, sis?
Let them talk. Don't interrupt.
You got it. There's 2 sides to this, Em. Okay. Number one, you could have someone that just goes, and in which case, I give them the rope. Does that make sense? I just let them go and let them talk, and like I really like take that rope because I'm going to eventually grab it and pull it back in. But I don't want to interrupt them. I just want to listen to them and let them go. You may get the opposite side where they just give you the one Ryan answer, like what's the biggest frustration? Inventory, and you're like, you can either stop there, which isn't good, right? And is not effective. Or I could dig deeper. Ryan, what does it say right here?
Dig deeper with the question, what about that is creating the most frustration for you?
If you get the one syllable or short answer, Bob, I'm just going to go, okay, Ryan, so it's inventory. What about the inventory? What about that is creating the most frustration for you right now? Because I cannot, that they haven't given me the problem. I don't understand the full depths of that. And I want to use that emotion for them to move them forward. And then let's go. Miss Devlin, would you please read this section for me? Whoops.
Okay. So for some reason, I can't see what everyone else is seeing. I can't read. I just see you.
That's good.
So
You are in trouble today. No,
I know. I'm like, what is people reading? I can't read. So please don't call on me.
You're like, of course. Hey, Gary Merck or Sila Truck, either one of you two. Gary, would you read that for me right there? Please.
Yeah, sure. Mirror back what they say. Got it. So the timing's really stressing you out.
Cool. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do what's called a keyword backtrack on that, Gary, right? And I'll stop the screen share so I can see you guys. So if I say, hey, Emily or Ryan, you're my role play partner. Okay. You're my role play partner. You're going to be the client. Is that fair? Would you unmute yourself, dude? Okay. Hey, Ryan, what is the biggest challenge? I'm sort of curious, man. What's the biggest challenge? What's the biggest obstacle that you're facing right now that's really creating the most frustration for you in the home buying process?
These crazy high prices.
The crazy high prices. Okay, gotcha. Can you tell me a little bit more about what's frustrating you with that?
They just keep going up and up. And, I thought a year ago that they'd be going down by now, and they just don't stop, even though interest rates are super high. So it's actually kind of interest rates as well, too.
Okay, so let me make sure I got this right. You're sitting here a year ago, you were looking at it, thinking probably prices were going to come down. Did I hear that correctly?
Totally.
And you sat on the sidelines waiting, and you just kept watching like the prices go up, frustrating yourself, right? Maybe thinking I should have acted prior to.
Yeah, my wife's mad at me.
Yeah, your wife's mad at you, and now we're facing higher interest rates. Did I get all that right?
Sure did.
Boom. I'm going to repeat that entire thing back that way. What does that do, my friends?
Makes me feel like you care about me.
I care. I'm listening. I got it right. Okay. Right. And with that connection, I can move into the rest of it as well, too. Okay. Right. Now, guys, I know I took a lot of time just on this first part, but that first part is really important because if you don't get an authentic answer, right, and that comes from your caring, your compassion, understanding what they're giving you, being grateful for the appointment, like that really is a game. Like, can I be grateful for the time and the gift that they're giving me to meet with them to solve their problem? I look at it and I go, guys, they got a headache. We're the aspirin. right? But I need to know where they hurt in order to be able to actually like position the solution. Okay. So you'll get Nazar. I'm going to send this all over to you right away. Right. So you're going to have all of this, the script, and also the extended version as well, too. So you're going to get 3 documents. One's the ebook. The other one's the extended version. The ebook's bigger. And the third is just the general script. I want you guys to take a look at that because we're going to unpack the rest of it on the next call. I'm going to role play the entire thing with you. Remember, 27% increase of appointments from 800 to 900 calls that have actually been done prior to, with all things being the same type of leads that they're calling. I want the same for you guys. Okay. So did you guys get some value today? I hope. Yes.
Good.
Yeah. I know it wasn't the general 4 mistakes or 5 mistakes, but I like going tactical with you guys because we did the whole CEO conversation. It was a really powerful general conversation. I think it's time that we get down and dirty in the skills. So my friends, turn that knob of effort. Turn the knob of effort. If you're less than 2 to 3 escrows, you know what to do. It's 3 hours of prospecting. If you're above 3 escrows, cool. Maintenance plan, right? It's sort of like losing weight. Any of you guys ever lost weight before? Yes.
Yeah.
Point at yourself and go, I'm a sexy beast on the count of 3, right? Ready? 1, 2, 3. I am a sexy beast. When you're losing weight, it takes a lot more effort. Me going from 227 down to 191, that took a shit ton of effort, man. Oh, man. But now, guess what? I can eat the cookie every now and again. I can do whatever. Why? Because I'm maintaining. The same is true for you on your prospecting. You can pull it down when you're at that 3+ to 2 hours a day because you're in a maintenance mode at that point. Okay? So, all right. You guys have a kick-ass 2 weeks. I can't wait to see you on the next call and unpack this. Enjoy. Don't wait to use this until our next call. If you think you got it and you understand it, go and use it right away. And you can be able to come back and report it back to me. I know Alicia will. I know Casey will. So some of you will as well, too. I'll see you later, guys. Thanks again. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.